Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is lesson 2 of my free Google Sheets course. In today's video, we're going to build a simple habit tracker packed with fun features, including cute progress bars and viral sunflower growth trackers. So before we get started, there are two things you need to open. The first one is Google Sheets, of course. And then you have to open the blog post that goes along with this tutorial. It contains everything you need for this project, including all the formulas and all the images, like sunflower images that we'll be using later. I've linked the blog in the description below, so make sure to open it before we continue. Okay everyone, so now let's do a quick setup. First, rename your spreadsheet. You can name it anything you like. I'll call my free habit tracker Sunflower. Next, go to File and choose Settings. Make sure your locale is set to United States and your language is set to English. This is important because some functions behave differently depending on your regional settings. So to make sure everyone's formulas work the same way, we'll use these settings throughout the tutorial. Next, we need to set horizontal align to center, vertical align to middle, and change text wrapping to wrapped. After that, we need to add more columns. So you select columns and then click Insert more column to the right. Now we're ready to create our first section, the Studied section. Okay, so to create this section, first make a column a little narrower. Okay, then select two cells and click Merge. Type Studied into the cell. Alright, next, select the cell where you enter the date. Go to Data, to Data Validation, add Rule. Under Criteria, you choose Is Valid Date. Here, click Reject the input and click Show Help Text for a selected cell. Okay, done. Now let's test it. If you're using Windows, simply double-click the cell and the mini calendar should appear. If you're using a Mac, click the cell once, then press Enter on your keyboard. The mini calendar will pop up and you can choose your studied from there. And that's it, your studied section is now ready to use. Now let's create the date section for our habit tracker. First, you need to create one cell. And you may retype anything you want. I'm going to type hashtag. And another cell is for habits. Then the next cells will be the first day of the month. So we'll link it to the start date we created earlier. Just simply type equal, then click on the cell containing your start date. Then press enter. Now we have the first day of the month. For the next cell, just add 1 to the previous date. Then, drag the formula across the remaining cells to fill in the rest of the days automatically. Personally, I will create 31 days. However, if you prefer, you can create 30 days instead. It's completely up to you. Next, let's make these days a little more compact because the table looks quite wide if we display the full date. So I'm going to reduce the width of the columns a bit. Okay, choose all the needed columns and then I'm gonna resize it. Okay, reduce the size a bit. Okay, right now I'm gonna select all the date cells and then go to Format. Here I'm gonna choose Number, Custom Date and Time. Here, choose the date format you like. For me, I only want to display the date of the month. I don't need the month or the year because showing just the date keeps everything clean. Besides the dates, I also like to display the day of the week, so I'm going to create another row above the dates. After that, go back to Format and choose Number, Custom Date and Time, but this time choose a format that displays the day of the week. To make it look nicer, I rotate the text vertically. Then, increase the row height slightly. After that, I set the vertical line option to bottom. Now everything looks much cleaner and easier to read. So that's it. We finished creating the date section of our habit tracker. So now let's create a title for the habit tracker. Select all the cells above the dates, click merge so they become one large cell, and then type habit tracker. Next, we're going to create the habits list section. In this area, we have space for 10 habits, along with a counter that automatically tells us how many habits we've ordered. Let's start by creating a simple number system. Now, let's create the habit counter. First, I'll enter a sample habit, for example, drink 2 liters of water. To count the number of habits we've ordered, we use the count A function. To use it, type equal count A, then select the range that contains your habit list. Okay, right now since I only have one habit, the result is 1. If I add another habit, you see that the number automatically changes to 2. Next, we're going to add checkboxes so you can check off each habit as you complete it. So, select all the cells that you need and then choose Insert, choose Checkbox. Increase the row height a little bit. Okay, now let's count how many days you completed each habit. I'll label this column tick and the next column is %. To calculate the total number of checkboxes, we use countif function. So choose countif, equal countif, and then choose the range. And then, comma, true. Now, whenever you check a box, you see the completed count increase automatically. Once the formula is working, simply drag it down to apply it to the rest of your habits. Next, let's calculate completion percentage. This one is very simple. Type equal and then divide the completed value by 31 since I'm using a month with 31 days. If you're creating a tracker for 30-day month, simply divide by 30 instead. Then drag the formula down to fill the rest of the column. Right now, the results are displayed as decimal numbers. To change them into percentages, select the entire column and then click % button on the toolbar. And then click decrease decimal places a few times to round the numbers. Alright, next we're going to create a progress bar. For this part, we use the spotlight function. First, click the cell where you want the progress bar to appear, Then type equal sparkline and select the cell that contains your completion percentage. Chart type is bar and max is 1. For the color, I'm gonna choose black. Don't worry about typing the entire formula yourself. I've included the complete formula in the blog post, so you can simply copy and paste it. The only thing you need to change is the cell reference. I mean, just replace HA7 with the cell that contains your completion percentage. Okay, right now, drag the formula down to copy it for the rest of your habits. Okay, let's start it. As I check my boxes, you can see the progress bar gradually filling up. Next, we're going to calculate the number of completed and incomplete habits for each day. Okay, let's start with completed column. Just like before, we use countif function. Equal countif and then choose the range, comma true. Now let's calculate the incompleted habits. Simply subtract the number of completed habits from the total number of habits. Then we need to use an absolute reference by adding $signs to the total habit cell. This locks the reference, so when you copy the formula across, the total number of habits stay the same while the completed count changes for each day. Next, let's calculate the completion percentage. Simply divide the number of completed habits by the total number of habits. Then format the results as a percentage by clicking the percent button on the toolbar. To make it look cleaner, click decrease decimal places until you're happy with the formatting. Before copying the formula across the rest of the row, don't forget to lock the total habit cell with $signs. However, right now you can see if I delete all of my habits, you notice that the percentage returns an error. This is because we're trying to divide by 0. There are no habits in the list. To fix it, we'll wrap the formula with if error function. Simply place your existing formula inside if error, then add 0 as the second argument. Okay, now add a couple of sample habits. Look, as I start checking them off, you can see the daily statistics update automatically. Now it's time to create the sunflower growth tracker, one of my favorite features and probably the most viral part of this habit tracker. As you complete your habits each day, you see your sunflower gradually bloom. So how do we create this effect? It's actually much easier than it looks. First, you need to go to my blog post. There, you find a free sunflower sticker pack containing 4 different sunflower images that represent each state of growth. Download the images first, then create a new sheet called Setup. In this sheet, insert the 4 sunflower images into separate cells. Once you've done that, go back to your habit tracker sheet. Now we're going to use the if function to display a different image based on the completion percentage. Don't worry, the formula looks long, but it's actually very straightforward. I've included the complete formula in the blog post, so you can simply copy and paste it. The only thing you need to update is the cell reference for your completion percentage. The formula checks the progress like this. If your completion is 20% or less, it displays the first sunflower. If it's 40% or less, it displays the second sunflower. If it's 80% or less, it displays the third sunflower. Otherwise, it displays the fully bloomed sunflower. Okay, now let's test it. As I check off more habits, you can see the sunflower gradually blooming. Pretty cool, right? Before copying the formula across the rest of the tracker, don't forget to lock all the image references using absolute references with $signs. This keeps the image locations fixed when you drag the formula. I also recommend wrapping the formula with if error. That way, if anything goes wrong, the cell will simply stay blank instead of displaying an error message. Next, let's count how many fully grown sunflowers we have. We use the countif function again. Select the range containing the completion percentages. Then count all values that are greater than or equal to 80%. This gives us the total number of habits that reached the final growth stage. Finally, merge a few cells and insert a sunflower image as a nice little decoration. And that's it. The functional part of our habit tracker is now complete. Okay, now let's decorate our habit tracker. So first, go to View. Here, Show. You uncheck grid lines. Next, click the Select All button in the top left corner and change the font to Nunito. Then, remove all the borders so we can have a cleaner canvas to work with. Now it's time to add some color. I've already included all of the color codes in the blog post, so feel free to copy them directly. If you'd rather use your own color palette, you can easily find plenty of beautiful palettes on Pinterest or Google. So simply pick your favorite colors and apply them to your tracker. Finally, if you like to change the color of the progress bars, just replace black in a sparklight formula with your preferred colored or color code. And that's it, you've successfully built your own sunflower habit tracker. If you like to use the exact template from this tutorial, simply head over to the blog post linked in the description below. At the very bottom of the blog, you'll find a free copy of this habit tracker template ready to download. If you're looking for even more templates, be sure to check out my All for Life bundle. It includes 33 Google Sheets templates covering everything from habit trackers to budget planners and even social media content planners, all designed to help you stay organized and productive. This bundle is normally $15, but you can use the coupon code NODI25 at the checkout to get 20% off, bringing the price down to just around $11. Okay everyone, in the next video, we've learned how to create a beautiful line chart to visualize your progress. After that, we'll continue building a weekly habit tracker, a monthly habit tracker, and monthly goals tracker. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye and have a nice day.